Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday, and that means it's before the 90 days. And this week we have season 6, episode 17, Tell All, part 1. We're done with the bad titles, so we just got Tell All, part 1. And guys, normally on Tuesdays, I will have Kimberly. I've had a couple of subs the last couple of weeks because Kimberly has been out. They were getting ready for CrimeCon and whatnot. My understanding is CrimeCon was a huge success. They had a huge panel they did with Josh Mankiewicz, and everybody loved it. But unfortunately, flying, traveling, talking your face off, and then being around a convention center full of unmasked people might make you feel bad. So she's not feeling well. She said she woke up with a sore throat and a lack of ability to speak. So I said, let me call in Chief Bunky in charge, and that's Amy Archer. Now, you guys, here's a couple things about Amy Archer. She has a podcast called Little Miss Recap. She also has a podcast called Gen X, This Is Why. And also, today's her motherfucking birthday.
I appreciated the Bon Jovi graphic that you put up for me.
I had to really think.
He's my man.
I had to think about what would Amy like, not what would I like. Don't be selfish. It's not my birthday. Yes. And
not your birthday yet. It's coming up, Libra.
It's coming up. It's Libra season. That's right. Keisha, also our fellow Libra co-host. Yes. But have you had a good birthday so far? When this comes out on Tuesday, it'll be a day past your birthday, but you can still wish Amy a happy birthday because she's one of those celebrate for a week kind of people.
I take it all month.
Okay. Yeah.
So this morning I took my mother-in-law for blood work and she took me out for pancakes. So that's what's happened so far.
Okay. All right. I hope the blood work turns well. I hope the pancakes went down smooth.
The pancakes were amazing, and I realized it's going to be an all-carb day because I asked my husband if he will make me his famous pizza tonight, and he's going to.
Yum.
And then I bought myself a cake. So we got like carb. And I'm okay with that.
Do you follow this woman on TikTok? I think her name is Brandy, Brandis, Brandis Bradley. You've probably seen her. She's the woman. She's blonde. She wears tons of makeup, and she's always flipping open a lid of a grocery store cake and shoving it in her mouth. I have seen her. Britney.
Yes.
Yeah, she's very upset about Britney's stripper pole. Very upset.
I've seen her.
She's very funny. She has this whole series that she did about, because she did a whole Bama Rush thing too, and she was told us about when she was in college. I don't know what college she went to, but it was a Southern college, and some of her friends, or she did, pledged but then couldn't afford it or something. So they decided on their dorm floor to make up their own sorority, which was the ortho tridelts or something, but it was for ortho tricycling because they were all on the same birth control pill. So she's very, very funny.
That's pretty good.
That has nothing to do with anything, but happy birthday, Amy. Do you want to say your age, or are you going to keep it secret?
I'm 46 today.
46. Wow.
Yep.
Keisha on October 21st, also my birthday, accepting gifts now, is going to be 44.
Okay. So she's the baby. So
I'm
middle sister.
Yeah. I'm going to be double nickel. So
you're big sis. I'm middle sis. She's little sis. Okay. Yeah. Where does Kimberly fit in?
Kimberly and Katie, I believe, are. I want to say, because I don't want to say, I know Kimberly's birthday because it's very distinctive, and I never know anyone's birthday, much less the freaking year. But I believe she is 9 years younger than me. That would put her at Keisha's age. That would put her at turning 40.
They're twins. Maybe they're twins.
Maybe would have turned 44 when she had her birthday in the summer. I'll have to ask.
They could be the twin sisters.
They could be the what sisters?
They're going to be twin sisters. They're the twin baby sisters.
Twin sisters. Well, that would be interesting if they were.
You know what?
They looked nothing alike.
You know what I was thinking? You could have just said I was Kimberly. Everybody says I sound like her. I could have just shown up and started talking about murder.
That's right.
No one would have been none the wiser.
That's right. A lot of people do think you sound alike. I think Kimberly's voice is a little higher than yours, a little high-pitched.
I have a raspy voice, and I always kind of knew that, but I didn't realize how raspy it was until I started podcasting. I'm like, I sound like a cheese grater. Like it's...
I didn't realize how much my voice would be able to go out on a weekly basis until I became a podcaster.
Yeah, yeah. That's one thing, like, I used to listen to Howard Stern in the good old
Mm,
days, and
mhm.
I
Me
shouldn't
too.
say the good old days, like, around I listened to it when I was in college, but then he had a resurgence around, like, when he turned 16, he had all those great interviews with, like, Neil Young and Paul Simon and, he
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
But he was always talking about drinking hot water and how crazy he was about his voice, and it was his,
Mhm.
his living and blah, 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 and I always thought he was being ridiculous, but now I get it. I get it. Because what if
Yeah,
we can't talk someday?
yeah, I mean, you imagine Kimberly waking up yesterday to like, well, I've got a couple
Yeah,
of podcasts that I won't be able to do. I'm glad
yeah,
it lasted through their big event. And I
mhm,
believe they were up for an award. I don't know who won the award. I don't think they won the award, but somebody else.
mm.
But they were up
But they were
against
nominated, and that was
they were
cool.
nominated. Yeah, at
Mhm,
CrimeCon.
mhm.
Yeah. And
That's
I
pretty
think
cool.
they were up against Nancy Grace. And
Oh, well, I
they
hope
do a
they take her
lot.
down.
Kimberly does a lot of Nancy Grace work on the show.
Speaking of
She does.
Nancy Grace, I have to tell you something funny. Do you know the thing that's going around about the Roman Empire on TikTok?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
I don't know if you and I have talked about this, but
I did. I asked my husband.
I asked my husband too, and he was like, once in a while. And then he went on this rant about aqueducts.
My
So
husband
there's
was
that.
like, I don't know, like I guess pretty often, and then he went on a whole thing about it was like aqueducts, and it was all about the like not industrial revolution because that's the wrong word, but all
Mhm,
the things that
mhm.
they invented, and
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah,
huh?
and I first of all, I played Caesar 3 as a teenager on my computer, so I knew all about aqueducts, nothing you can't tell me about it.
I don't even know what
But
that means.
I will say that I've heard recently that the female or, identifying as female version of that is John Bonet.
John Bonet.
And I do believe that to be true. I
Yeah,
think
I
about
saw
her
that.
quite often.
I'd say I think of John Bonet a few times a week.
Yeah, my mom told me, she said, "I don't care what you need to do, put me on life support, keep me artificially alive. I don't want to die until that case is solved."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But it never will be because people admit to doing it and then they prove it's wrong. And
it will
then,
never be
yeah,
solved. Although
it'll
they
never
do
be
have
solved.
DNA, they just haven't found a match for it.
Right.
I wonder if they could do the familial DNA now and build the tree backwards.
I don't know, Amy. Maybe you could do a podcast about it because you don't have enough podcasts to do.
But I do believe that is the appropriate equivalent.
Yeah. So
Mhm,
Dave walked in the house the other day and I had I was recording with my iPhone and I asked him. And so he was sort of walking around talking about it, not realizing I was filming him or anything. And then
mhm,
he's like standing at the sink and he's washing something for the dogs. And I was like, this is
mhm.
not a good video because he's not like looking at me.
Yeah.
So I need to do it again because he quickly had an answer, which is
Yeah, and
weird.
and they seem to know a lot about it, and my husband wanted to make sure that he understood that he was not endorsing the Roman Empire, but that
Oh,
he was
uh-huh.
just fascinated by it, and I'm like, "Yeah, I get that, Timmy."
Paris Hilton asked her husband, and he said he thinks about it a lot. And she said, "What do you think about?" And he said, "Togas."
Oh, okay.
Well, that you might need to look into that marriage.
That went a strange way.
I think about the Roman baths. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm, mhm.
Oh my God. Let's see. I had something else. Oh, so people are wanting the update on the big baby shower that I hosted here that I spoke with
Yes,
Landon
yes.
about last week.
Mhm,
First of all, several people at the shower, I was taking a video and I said, I'm taking this, I'm going to send it to Landon. And you would have thought I said John Bon Jovi or Eddie Vedder in my world.
wow,
That people were
wow.
like, Landon's really a star with the Southern Ladies.
Okay,
He really is.
alright.
So anyway, I need to tell him that. And I came up with a great idea for when I'm in Jackson for Landon to meet up with me. I'm going to try to get
You're
Landon to
taking
go
me
with
up
me to the
for
Apple
it, right?
store.
Mhm. You came up with that idea on Hey Bunky with me.
Yeah, see,
Mhm, mhm,
that
mhm.
that was 3 days ago. It's
I
gone now.
understand, I
Out of the
understand.
brain.
I live in the same world, I get it.
He said he's up for it. So, okay, one
Okay,
more thing I was gonna talk about. Oh, so the baby shower went great. So here's
good.
what happened. So dumpster came, dumpster went, took 2, 3 carloads full to Green Drop, a place to drop things off, did
Mhm,
that, and then I got the house very clean, and then Kendall and Lucy. So Kendall is my nephew Thompson's wife, and then Lucy is my niece. So my sister Finny has 4 kids, 3 boys,
Mhm.
and then oops, a girl. And
Mhm.
then
Oops, a girl or yay, a girl?
oops and yay, it was
Yeah.
post vasectomy
Yeah.
girl.
Oh.
So
Okay.
so it's a oops, but it's a yay
We'll
because
have to talk more about that later.
yeah, because obviously glad she's here.
'Cause I
So
need to make sure that never happens in this house.
yeah, it's a cautionary tale.
Mhm, mhm,
So and then my sister has her 2 kids. So the baby shower was for my niece Maggie, who is my middle sister in the back, Tay's daughter.
mhm,
But Kendall's her best friend who happened to marry her cousin Thompson, and then Lucy is her cousin, so blah blah. It's all in the family. But
mhm.
let me tell you what, those 2 girls came over here, especially Kendall. And when I tell you they like took pictures, had a vision, and on Sunday, so the shower started at 2. I went up to take a shower at 12. When I came
Mhm.
down at 1 o'clock, my house had been taken over by these girls. And wow, it was like a wow, wow, wow. Like who new house, who this? Like I mean, it was clean.
Wow.
Every surface was clean,
Mhm.
right? Like there wasn't any clutter. And I had taken even like some like knickknacks on side tables and stuff, everything off because she
Yeah.
had gotten so many flowers and she had so many flower arrangements that she had done herself, like tiny baby carriages with flower arrangements.
Mm,
Like I can't
okay.
even. I'll show you the pictures. It's like if you've seen those videos of Southern girls' dorm rooms.
Yes.
Okay, it's that kind of situation.
Okay.
Imagine somebody just sprinkled fairy dust and all of a sudden it looked like that. So
Okay.
it was incredible. It was all this amazing food. So then the other hostess girls started arriving with their food, and everybody used the McCarty pottery, which is a Mississippi thing. And then they had, I
Mhm,
mean, just thing after thing after thing was perfection. So I was
mhm,
very, very grateful for them because, like I said, I will happily let you guys use my house, but
mhm,
I can't. I don't have that skill. I mean, I could decorate
mhm,
basically, but not
mhm.
this level of like every little detail,
I'm a good decorator.
like sprigs of
Mhm.
stuff, to decorate. And it was just gorgeous. Everything was gorgeous.
You
So
just have to find a vision and then execute it. That's what I do.
I do I do good on a Christmas party with that, but this baby shower situation, it's been so long.
Mary Payne, my computer keeps making noises and I apologize. I don't know how to make it stop.
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it.
Okay.
Is it
All
because
right.
it's too hot is it hot on the bottom?
No, no, no. Like people are texting me and stuff, and I don't know how to shut. I have my phone on airplane mode, but they're still coming through on my computer, and I don't know how to make it stop. Anyway,
Okay. Well, at the top with those little can you make it airplane mode? No, you don't want it to
no,
airplane mode because
no,
then you
I
can't
won't
see it.
lose you.
Hmm. I
Listen,
can't hear it. I can't hear it.
do I have a minute or two to rage about Cody Brown?
Uh, yeah, let me timestamp this. Chat stops, Cody Brown begins. I want you to know that last night I watched this show before the 90 Days Tell All Part
Yeah.
1. I watched it live, which I
Yeah.
never do. I usually just have it on the screener.
Mhm, mhm,
So after it, because I
mm.
was stopping and starting so much, the last 30 minutes of Sister Wives was on
You
because
got
I
to the
really wanted
most
to watch.
riveting show on television.
So I just had it on while I was doing work on the computer.
What were your
And
thoughts?
well, his hair is so weird, but he
Mhm.
was meeting with
Janelle.
Janelle. He
Mhm.
was meeting with Janelle, and he said, "Do you think I don't want to be with you? Do you think I don't want to kiss your lips?" I was like, "Ew."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was real weird because for
She
those of
seemed to be
us
buying it, though. She seemed to be
oh yeah,
buying
for
it.
those of us who followed this show forever,
Mhm.
these 2 seemingly had 0 chemistry. Like, we always thought they were like an intellectual marriage, which I don't know what kind of intellect is coming from Cody. Although
Right.
his, manosphere word of the week on his calendar was transmute, so he was using that word a lot last night.
I've
Um,
never even what? Okay.
so we always thought like they were just kind of friends or pals. Like Janelle's kind of like she just doesn't demand much, you know what I mean? She's not high
Yeah.
maintenance, she's the lowest maintenance. But all of a sudden last night I saw a spark between them. I thought they were going to go bang it out in the waiter's closet. Like that's how intense that was.
Well,
And
I don't know. anything about it. I just know that Robin is the one left standing. And I mean, like I said, know the players, don't know the game. But when they were having that meal and he was saying like, I want it, and she was like, I miss Cody in my bed. I was like,
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
he didn't sleep with anybody but
No,
Robin.
we don't know how long it's been since Cody's been in her bed. We think 17 years ago. We have no idea. But I was talking to Amanda, so we cover this on Little Miss Recap, and we
Yeah.
record early. So I was talking to her we talked for an hour and 20 minutes about this, and I was saying, I finally saw a spark between them. Like, I finally got it. But the best part was, he's in his confessional. He's like, I think Janelle is just using me for my body because I'm in good shape and I have a 6-pack ab. What's a 6-pack ab?
She has one ab,
I
just one
guess.
little one on the left.
But this is him. Like, he doesn't realize, he thinks she's using him for his body. God.
So wait a second. So is she okay? So in current time, we know Christine has left and is marrying someone else. We know Mary left and is like possibly with a woman. I don't know what's happening there.
She's at her Airbnb.
She's at her Airbnb, and then Janelle.
Uh-huh.
Is she still with him now?
She left in current time.
She has left in current time. Okay.
And she's pounding around Christine, and that's why he thinks they're teaming up against me. Because, these women raised their children together.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, Christine raised all of Janelle's children. All of her adult children think of Christine as their second mother.
Yeah, right.
So, whatever. He wants them all to get along, and he kicks you out if you don't get along with your other sister wives, aka Robin. But yet he's angry that they're getting along. So I don't know. That's Cody Brown. He's rage-inducing.
I just heard something go bing as if it was my email, but
it wasn't me. That one wasn't me.
It wasn't my email because my email is completely closed.
It's Cody. He hears us talking about him.
All right. If you guys hear any dings or anything, I'm sorry. We
don't know what to do.
It's Amy's birthday, and whatever.
Should we tell everyone that I was late to the season here? Should we let everybody know?
Hey all, are you hoping to budget your food expenses this fall? Get more bang for your bite with America's best value meal kit. That's Every Plate. Every Plate is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping with no hidden fees, so you can count on great value week after week, plus only pay for what you need with pre-portioned ingredients. That is what I love so much about Every Plate. They literally send you exactly what you need. You know how you get a recipe and it says you need this much of a chopped onion and this much of this, and you end up with like 3 onions in your fridge that you didn't need. Not with Every Plate. They send you the 1 onion. So you don't need like 1.5. Or if they send you like you need a teaspoon of basil, well then you went to the store and bought this whole thing of basil that goes bad in your fridge. Not with Every Plate. That's why I love the pre-portioned ingredient, y'all. It makes it so easy. You're going to make the sustainable choice this September. Every Plate offsets 100% of their delivery emissions, and their meals have a 31% lower carbon footprint on average than supermarket meals of the same portion. Plus, nearly all of the packaging materials are curbside recyclable in most areas of the U.S. Yes, that's what we do. I put it right by the door, and it goes right out when my son goes out to take out the recycling. So, you guys, I'm telling you, Every Plate is the freaking way to go. Get $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast. Enter code 49 pinkshade. That is correct. Get $1.49 per meal. So get started with Every Plate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/pinkshade and enter code 49 pinkshade. Okay, do you have that? everyplate.com/pinkshade and enter code 49 pinkshade to get your meals for $1.49. That's up to $110 value. All right, yeah, guys. So before we get to recapping, so what did you say? Chat ends 13. Cody Brown begins 13. Recap at 17. All right. So before we get really recapping, Amy has not watched this entire season. Nay, she has watched none of it.
But until last night.
I reached out to her. Of course, also semi-forgetting it was your birthday. Like forgetting, but not really forgetting because it is on my calendar. And then I told Ingrid this morning, I go, Amy's one of those people who really likes her birthday, and we should have put that in the freaking newsletter.
Oh, it's okay.
Ingrid's like, So the newsletter also said this is the finale, but it's not. It's the tell-all. Everybody subscribe to our newsletter. Go to pinkshadepodcast.com, sign up.
There you go.
So, so I asked Amy last night if she was caught up on this show, and she said not only was she not caught up, she really had not been watching it, and by really she meant not at all. So anyway,
So
you've watched some.
I did some quick catching up. I had
Okay.
Bunky and Amanda fill me in on who we hate and who we don't hate. I had to get a gauge on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the tell-all, and I feel like I have a good sense of who these people are, and I can contribute to the conversation. But I might have questions that are kind of dumb. So if
That's
I
fine.
do, just bear with me.
Well, last night at the dinner table, I told the family, I was like, oh gosh, I said, like, Kimberly's not feeling well. I got to find somebody for tomorrow. And my husband goes, oh, I'll do it. I go, okay. Not only have you never watched these shows, you've also never listened to a podcast.
I would pay to hear that. Just saying.
Absolutely.
Put that on a $30 Patreon level and I'd pay for it.
First of all, he would be like, why is your office so messy? Because when we cleaned out the house, everybody dumped their shit in here.
Oh, that would be even better. You two fighting over Zoom? I would love this. This would be a fantastic. You're missing the boat here.
There would be fighting over the air conditioning level. There would be fighting over who left the dishes on the sink. Why is there shit on the stairs? The whole thing. Okay, let's get started. Episode 17, Tell All Part 1. So we open with seeing Meisha and Statler are just meeting. Okay, now Meisha, is Catholic Megan Fox News.
Yes, but no, she's not. She looks like Megan Fox, but she also looks like Hunter Tylo, who was Taylor Forster on Bold and Beautiful.
Great call. Hunter Tylo.
Yep. Looks really just like her. Amy. I'm like, oh, Taylor Forster's here. Yeah.
Really good. Really good. I wouldn't have gotten Taylor Forster, but I did got Hunter Tylo.
Before the plastic surgery.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So Meisha asked Statler about her stomach because she's a well-known IBS sufferer. And Statler says, no, it's not acting up today. And Statler says, Meisha's nice. She's really Catholic and I'm really gay. So I worry about the judgment.
I'm into Statler.
Okay.
I really like her.
Real clingy, real codependent.
Oh, I really like her, though. She had some good takes, I felt like. So,
She did. And there's always one person on these tell-alls, historically, that will have a good take and you'll like them more after the tell-all.
Historically, it's Tim, historically, but...
I get to meet Tim tomorrow, which will be today when you hear this. Yes, at the TLC party. Okay, so, all right. So then we see Riley, who's like, I'm not here to judge because my shit stinks. How lovely, Riley.
Yeah.
Christian walks in and goes, I'm walking in here thinking everybody's going to hate me. You're correct.
Didn't need Cliff's notes to know this guy's a douchebag.
Just needed to take a look, right?
Just looking at it.
Got a little look-see on Christian. Riley tells me, they're all sitting together, and Riley tells Meisha he would like to speak to Nicola because his mom used to tell him not to use the Bible to justify his bad behavior, and he feels that's what Nicola does. Now, did you get the clip notes from Amanda that Nicola is a 46-year-old man who lives in his mother's basement and runs a non-monetized Bible website and has never had a job?
And he's a virgin, yes.
And he's a virgin.
Yes.
And he landed that smoke show.
And he's all crazy with the Bible, yes. Which, I mean, I got that here too. Yeah.
Okay. So David arrives. So David is deaf, and they do the thing that really drives Kimberly crazy, where they go, whoosh, and then they take all the sound out.
But they only did some of the sound out. It was weird.
Sometimes they go like whoosh, and then they just go whoosh, 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 whoosh. We don't need it. We get it.
We don't need it. They did it when they introduced him in episode 1. We don't need it again. We got it.
Every episode. So he says he's happy to meet everyone. He's happy to see New York City. He's never been there. Like, it's a lot to take in. And he has 3 interpreters with him. And I think he has one that's speaking for him in a male voice, and then he has a woman that is telling him what the other people are saying. And then I believe he has a third person
maybe
for some reason.
Backup in case somebody drops dead.
Well, so somebody's like, it's 12 hours of this shit. I'm tired. So he meets Meisha, and they talk about Amanda right before she walks in, and they say she seems like a complete stone cold bitch. She's a fucking asshole. They're correct. But
and then she's like, hey, what's up, guys?
And I said, she arrives, and as per usual, with her terrible style, what the fuck is she wearing? What is she wearing?
That Daddy's Box stuff was real intense.
All right. So you saw you saw
Oh,
a
yeah.
box of daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Box.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So Christian says, people always ask me, like, why do I like to talk to women all the time? I talk to women because women are people, and I just talk to women like they're people.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you
Okay.
for alerting us that women are people.
Mm-hmm.
You see Statler like, am I going to have to do this shit for 12 hours? I mean, she's looking around like, oh my God, this
Statler is
guy.
all of us in this Stella.
Everybody,
Mm-hmm.
man, woman,
Mm-hmm.
donkey, baby, all of us. So,
A donkey
Misha,
baby or a donkey and a baby?
donkey and a baby. Nicola is the donkey. So, Meisha says, so let's see, like, who here do we think had the most toxic relationship? And Riley's like, I'm number two. I'm number two. And Christian's like, you might be number one. And they're like, no, Jasmine and Gino, of course, are number one.
Now,
Right?
Riley lives right by me, right? I live right by Stroudsburg.
Oh, I did not
Yeah.
know
I'm only
that.
20 minutes from, 25 minutes from it. Mm-hmm.
Can you find him a girlfriend so he'll stop trying to go out of the country
Nope.
to find one?
No.
No,
Mm-mm.
no,
Nope.
not
No
interested. Okay.
takers.
All right. I don't hate Riley. I don't. A lot of people do.
Yeah, I from what I've seen, he seems fine, but
Yeah, a lot of people
reserving
right
judgment.
away were just like jumped right on him and like he's a sex tourist. And we're like, duh, that's the basis of this show.
At
Then
least
you
she
got
was
it
age appropriate, though.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they gave as good as they got. They both were awful to each
they're
other the
both trash.
whole
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they all agree Jasmine and Gino were number one. And Statler's like, I used to hate Gino, but now I think he needs to be protected at all costs because Jasmine is a horrible human. She's a toxic person. It's like,
I
okay.
texted Amanda last night and I said, "Who is this woman and what happened to Jasmine? She has a
Mm,
whole new face."
mm.
Mm-hmm.
She does. She
Mm-hmm.
does. She says she doesn't even want to be in the same room with Jasmine. Thank God she's not going to be there. And David says, yeah, she cries 24/7. And Statler goes, yeah, she's either crying or screaming. And Gino arrives and they go, oh, Gino, were your ears burning? Now, his ears couldn't have been burning because his hat was pulled down so far over his ears.
It's Fedora.
What was happening with that hat?
I don't know. Gino's weird.
Oh, my God. So Jasmine arrives and she's in a green ball gown.
She's in
And
like a
she's like,
prom dress.
yeah. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
I made it to America beaches. And she's like, I heard what you were saying about me. And we all have issues. We all have baggage. And Statler goes, but you are aware that you're toxic, right? And she just like looks over and
No,
whoosh.
Statler, toxic people are not aware they're toxic. That's what makes
Mm-mm.
them toxic.
I had a talk with my therapist a long time ago about somebody that we knew that was like such a narcissist. And I said, I wonder if he would ever get therapy. And my therapist is like, generally, a narcissist doesn't come to therapy unless they're pretending to do it for somebody else. And then they get there and then try to show how the other person's really the problem. They
You
don't
you just
seek out
described
therapy.
exactly what Cody Brown did on like season 6.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's see. Made it to America, bitches. And then Statler says, you're toxic. And Meisha says, from what I've seen, Gino, I am worried for you. And Jasmine goes, I don't know why you're talking over there. And Meisha goes, well, I am entitled to my opinion. I'm entitled to say my opinion. And Jasmine says, that's very bully of you.
It's very
And
bully of you. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so then they say, everybody onto the set. And then they bring out the big rolling heads. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What they said, what did Matt say? It's like the max headroom of,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yes. And there's a live
Yes.
studio audience.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
don't hear them really, but
no. So the story on that is that somebody that I know that's a podcaster that lives in New York, I guess I could say it now. She's the Real Housemates of New York, that podcast.
mm-hmm.
She sent me a text or that she was getting to go to this. Like she knew somebody that worked for
Mm.
TLC or something. I don't know how she got it, but she was so
Okay.
excited because she watches the show. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
she watches all Bravo. She was excited about it. And then I was like, how are you going to get me in there?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's all about me, but she was like, I could try, but whatever. And then she went into s6e Squad and posted, you guys won't believe this. I'm getting to go to this live studio audience thing. And like 45 minutes later, she said, or maybe like an hour later, she sent me a text and was like, I can't go now because I posted that in s6e Squad.
Oh
Like they
my
have
God.
people in those groups watching.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Good
they
to
called
know.
her and was
Okay.
like, "Yeah, you posted it in a Facebook group, so now you can't come."
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So, anyway, let's talk about the dress code here. So they were
Okay.
given no
Mhm.
dress code,
Yeah.
right? Amanda is in a red skater dress with black pumps. It looks like
Mhm.
she's trying to be sexy secretary that takes her blazer off. I don't know
Yeah,
what the hell.
it's
She's got
not
terrible
flattering.
style.
Mm-mm.
Uh-uh. And I mean, she couldn't be more young and hot. I mean, she could have worn
Mhm.
anything.
Sure.
Statler's in a very weird business bun, which she has that long curly
I
crazy
think
hair that
she is
normally.
stunning.
Oh, she is.
Oh,
She
she's
is.
gorgeous. Yeah.
She is. But this is a weird outfit. It's sort of like
There was no
I
like the boobs were running away from each other when she was sitting down. There was
I
no
think she
thought there.
doesn't girly dress very often,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
think she's sort of like, I don't know how to like wear this. Like, she didn't. I think she didn't feel comfortable, but her dress was cute. But then she had on like penny loafer flats,
Mhm.
which was
Mhm.
odd. Anyway, Meisha is in a short cocktail dress up to her neck. She's always ready to do the weather at all times. Today in the tri-state area, she's
Mhm.
always ready. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter.
She grew up
It,
idolizing Vanna White. That's her idol. Mhm.
yes, and
Mhm.
even when she got engaged, she's always in a solid color sheath, usually with a
Mhm.
lace overlay. She's ready to do the weather at all times.
Okay.
And Jasmine's in a long green gown. Like what?
Jasmine has the same prom dress my daughter wore a year ago.
With like huge like fake diamonds. Like
Mhm.
she
Mhm.
Cleo on camera at least looked great. She had because they you have to wear a solid color. So she had on a
Yeah.
solid color like because she's very like thin.
Like a
And then Dempsey
yeah.
looked great.
Dempsey looked great. Dempsey had the Kelly green on, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and Cleo had like a gold dress on. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like gold or orange or
Yeah.
something,
No, they
but
looked
like
good.
very, very fitted.
Mhm.
Okay.
They looked good.
Sorry about that. I just swallowed. I'm sorry. Please don't write a mean iTunes review about it. So Sean welcomes the first live studio audience, and then we don't get much else, like you said
No.
about them. We
Mm-mm.
see some
Mm-mm.
reaction shots.
Well, the
That's it.
way that they would zoom on one person who was like, like clutching their
Yeah.
pearls, I thought,
Yeah.
okay, is this person related? Are they going to be coming up on stage?
Yeah,
No.
I thought that too. That one
Yeah.
woman, they showed her from the side a couple times. I was
It was
like, is that somebody's
weird.
mom?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was weird.
So Sean says, Gino and Jasmine, I can't believe you're
Ugh,
together.
these
The
two.
last thing we saw, you were crying on the side of the road in a hot pink jumpsuit. What happened at the embassy? And she explains that she went there for her appointment and they said they were like overbooked that day. She had to come to a different day, whatever. It wasn't the crisis that she made it out to be, obviously, because she's Jasmine. Sean tells David she likes his beard. Sheila says she doesn't like it at all. I
Nope.
liked it. I liked it.
I thought he looked good.
I look good. On his season, because he's in the Philippines, he was so sweaty and red
Sweaty.
faced the whole time. So I was glad he looked like he had bathed.
Yeah.
Not his fault. I'm sure it's very hot
Mm-mm.
there.
I would be the same way. I'd be gross if you had me filmed in third world country or
You
anywhere
also,
tropical or anywhere warm.
so you know the story about what happened with them, those two
Not
when
really.
they were okay. So when he was there,
Mhm.
he goes to like their ramshackle. You've seen these places in the Philippines. It's just sticks
Mhm.
on sticks on. They've just built it between two other buildings. Very
Did I
sad.
misspeak? The Philippines is probably not third world country, is it? I feel bad that I misspoke like that. Anyway, tropical climate is what I was getting at. Go ahead.
They have had a typhoon and a fire and like something. I mean, the place has been burned down,
Oh my
typhoon the roof off.
god.
It's
Ugh.
been terrible. They've had terrible luck, and it was
Ugh.
already a ramshackle situation with like no running water. Already.
Ugh.
If it's not a third world country, this particular town, Cebu, which is also where Rose lived, Rose and Big Ed,
Oh, small
same
Ed.
town.
Yeah,
Mhm.
gross.
So
Mhm.
anyway, he meets her parents. Okay,
Okay.
goes in, they take an interpreter with him, he meets the parents. She's also hard of hearing, she has a hearing aid.
Okay.
Meets the parents with the interpreter, they leave, they go to they no, they slept there that night. They slept there that one night, they were slept there, like, on the flat floor, like,
Yeah.
no bathroom,
Yeah.
whatever, they slept where she grew up in that
Sure.
house. They wake up the next morning to mom dead. Her mom had died.
No.
Her mom had
No.
fallen down the stairs in the middle of the night and died.
No.
Yes,
Oh, god. How
that happened
awful.
on the show. The
Oh my
filming cr
god.
they came to film the next morning, and there was, like, a hearse outside, and they're like, "What happened?"
Oh my
Her
god, I
mom
need
had
to watch that
died.
episode. Oh, Jesus. I wanna
Horrible.
say that I remember you telling me that when it happened on
I
Hey
remember, like,
Bunky.
they keep showing, like, a coffin, but we don't know who it is, and I think that week, they sent the screeners kinda late, and I remember,
Mhm,
like, Matt sent me a text asking me if I'd watched it, and I said, "No," and he
mhm.
was like, "Oh, get ready, it's a sad episode," but I literally didn't wanna know who died because I wanted to, like, watch it.
Wow.
Because I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, they're trying to trick us, I'm sure it's like a neighbor." No,
Right. Oh.
wasn't. And then they blamed not they, the internet. The internet and Reddit blamed production and said, like, "These big burly guys with cameras are walking around this house with these tiny little people, and it was probably too much on the structure and probably weakened the stairs, and that's why she fell down the stairs in the middle of the night."
Oh my god.
Because like, a stair was broken, and that's why she fell down the stairs in the middle of the night.
Oh.
And
Oh,
when I
that
say
poor
stair, I
woman.
mean they're ladders. They're ladders inside the structure,
That
not
poor
stairs.
woman.
Horrible.
Horrible.
Horrible. Horrible. Okay. So that's them. Okay. So that's the way to really bring it down. So David's beard. Okay. So Sean asked Amanda and Razvan what happened after Amanda returned to the States. And Razvan says, I've had to take a step back from the relationship. Razvan is wearing a mesh t shirt with
Fishnet t-shirt.
yeah, with his nipples out, which is an interesting choice.
Yes, yes.
So Sean asked, this is my C&C. Who's that? Christian and
Hmm.
Cleo. Sean
Christian
asked
Clear.
Christian and Cleo if they are still together, and they say yes, absolutely. And everybody is like, "What?
Everybody's
Gross."
kind of like, whoa.
Ugh. Not gross, but like gross because he's gross,
Mm-hmm.
and she deserves better. Sean talks to Nicola and Meisha, and it's been 1 year since they've seen each other. It's
I
been
know.
1 year since they filmed this. They've already been together 7 years online before
But
they
I'm
even
kind
met.
of glad that they did take so long to film it. I hate when they film the tell-all. Like with Married at First Sight, they filmed the
Mhm.
tell-all before the seasons even aired. So
Before it
like,
airs.
yeah, so
Oh,
they don't know what is being shown and what is happening. It's
uh huh.
ridiculous. It's
Well, they do
ridiculous.
that. TLC and Bravo does it where they film their reunion sort of halfway while the thing's airing. So when they show them stuff, they haven't seen it because it hasn't aired yet.
Mm,
And they
okay.
get it like a week in advance, just like we do if we get screeners. So he'll be in the US very soon on a tourist visa. Sean says, I'm sorry Tyree couldn't be here in person. And he coughs and shows that he's sick. And they ask Tyree how he's doing, and he says, "The worst part is having people constantly ask me about being catfished. Like, it's so embarrassing."
And then
Yes.
Sean's like, how'd you feel about being catfished?
How do we all feel about it? It's pretty what we think happened, a lot of podcasters think what happened is they were filming with Tyree, and they quickly realized he's being catfished and this wasn't a person, so they had to swing out real quick and pay for Gino to go to Panama and, film them because I
Yeah,
don't
but
think they
they're
were
on the
on.
new season, aren't they? Gino and Jasmine?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they were supposed to be on this season.
Okay, I got you.
I think we were supposed to take a break from them.
Thank God.
Well, but
Or
no
I mean,
break.
we wished. We wished. Yeah.
Yeah, no rest for the weary with these 2. So, then we talk to Statler and Dempsey, and Dempsey says, "Statler, yep, they're together. Statler is the most important person in her life." And then Sean asks Riley and Violet if they are a couple, and Riley's like, no." And Violet says, "I'm not here to badmouth him, but I'm here to share the truth." She would not know the truth if it slapped her right in the face.
Mhm.
So, all right, here we go. We're going to start with Gino and Jasmine. All right, let's talk Gino and Jasmine. So she's only been in the US a few days. This is key, a few days.
Mhm.
But she thinks that when God created Michigan, he didn't intend for people to live there because it's so cold. It's been a few days. Now, I would like to shout out Jake of Reality Gaze, who said, if she can last one Michigan winter, then they can stay together. But he fully predicts they will start their life in Florida because there's
Okay.
no
Okay.
way she's gonna live there. No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Sean's like, some people are from Michigan, including the host of this program. And she's like, I mean, it's so nice there. It's so nice there. So Gino laughs and says, yeah, we do worry about her surviving the winter. And then we see a clip package of Jasmine and it's Dane. She calls him
It's
Dan.
Dane.
It's Dane.
Mhm.
Dane is hottie McHot.
Real hot. Real hot.
Australian and hot.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. So we don't
Agreed.
understand what the fuck she's doing.
He's like
Yeah.
on a scale of hotness, he's like Ethan Plath hot.
You guys, Amy is very into Ethan Plath. If you want to hear her falling over Ethan Plath, head on over to Pink Shade Prime, Super Guest and Patreon.
It's where
$5
all
level
the good
every
stuff
Friday.
lives.
Every Friday. So they're all saying it's not cool for her to talk to Dane about her sex life with or non-existent stuff like sex life with Gino, and he's like, I saw that clip, like you were calling him baby. And she was like, listen, I'm not an angel, but neither is Gino. And Jasmine says, I was feeling rejection and I feel like I need a validation from a man. And Sean goes, okay, well, have you had any other contact with Dane that Gino does not know about? And Jasmine goes, so I was leaving. And so I had no idea if I ever see him again or ever go to Panama again. And so, well, your whole family lives in Panama. So yes, you are going to see him again.
Yeah.
And she goes, so he proposed a goodbye dinner.
That was
Everybody's
so
like,
cheesy.
okay,
So cheesy.
stupid. Amanda goes, oh, okay, a dinner, like a date. And she goes, no. And they said, when was it? And she goes, it was February 14th. I mean, this is so staged and
So
stupid.
staged. So bad.
Yeah. So she's like, I didn't even know it was Valentine's Day. And Sean goes, does anybody believe this? Does anybody believe this? And Dane gave her a card, flowers, and dinner on Valentine's Day. And they're like, yeah, that's a date. And Gino goes, how could you do that to me? And they ask her, which is what they always should do with Jasmine, how would you feel if he did that? And she's like, listen, I needed some attention. And Christian goes, maybe Jasmine needed some attention. And Jasmine looks over at him and goes, oh, you're saying I'm needy, but you're the biggest attention whore, from one attention whore to the other. Christian's like, oh my God. So then they said, when you were with Dane, how was your sex life? She goes, oh my God, we had so much sex all the time. We finally just got sick of having sex
we
with each other.
banged so much because that's what happens. When you're having incredible sex with really hot people, you just get tired of it.
Tired of it.
Tire of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hot Australian guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Meisha was like, you're gross. And Statler does a whole, like, you're digging a hole. Like, 'cause she keeps talking about how great her sex was with Dane.
Mm-hmm.
So Amanda says, what if Gino asked you to choose between he and Dane? And she says, well, he would never do that because I have a very small circle of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. So he would never ask me to do that because Dan is one of my only friends. I was like, let's discuss why you don't have a lot of
Dane
friends.
clearly wants nothing to do with her because if he wanted her, she'd ditch Gino in a second.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Meisha says to Gino, Jasmine has constantly told you she's not going to listen to how you feel. She's not going to take your feelings into consideration. And so at what point do you say, this woman does not care about how I feel? And then Gino looks around and goes, well, the breaking point would be if she cheated on me. Okay. Oh, okay. So he's waiting on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Waiting on that. He's never going to break up with her.
So you can do anything else to me, but no sticking your P in somebody else's V.
Right.
Or A. Whatever.
Or whatever you choose. Sean says, so do you have a sex video of you and Dane 1 month before Gina came to Panama? And she goes, listen, we had a sex video way before I even knew Gino even existed. Like, we're drunk and we think it's fun and I film you and you film me. And so it's there and it's in the iCloud.
I can't imagine a scenario in which I would let anyone take a phone out when I had no clothes on.
I can't either.
Mm-mm.
I can't either.
mean, maybe my autopsy photos.
Stop. Oh, God. And Gino says, I want to see that. And Raleigh goes, man, you do not want to see that video. And he goes, no, I mean, I want to see the timestamp on it.
He wants to see the video.
And she was like, I don't know. Like, I have it somewhere on like a memory stick. And Sean says, well, when was the last time you talked to Dane? And she goes, well, so like right after my arrival here, he wanted to see like how it is and how Gino got. So it was like 3 days ago.
So like 2 days ago. Yeah.
25 minutes ago in the cab on the way over. So then we see Gino and Jasmine talking in the back. And I've decided now at this point, the two of them are just producing themselves. It's all staged.
100%.
He's like, you have to delete that video. And I want to see the time on it. And then you have to delete it. She's like, I will. I'm going to delete it. I never look at it, except for like earlier in the car. I never look at it. So she gets mad at him and is like, listen, you have to have my back out there. Like, you have to have my back. And I can't be made to feel bad about my past. My past is my past. I'm going to be myself and you'll have to deal with it. And then she says, we need to have a more healthy relationship, but we don't know how to do it. And then Riley says to the group, they're all sitting backstage, and Riley says, Jasmine is so fragile mentally. And Statler says, I've also been with a narcissistic abuser, toxic person, and that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Statler has changed from her office flats to some slippers.
Okay.
I'm
I
just
can
like,
get behind that.
I'm so fascinated. I understand if you're in heels and you change the slippers, but
Yeah.
flats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe she was getting a blister.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now let's go to Statler and Dempsey. So we get a clip of Statler that we did
Shitting
not
in the
need.
woods, and we don't need it.
So the thing with Dempsey's caravan is that it doesn't have, you could pee because you just pour the water in the tank
Right.
and
But
then
you
you can
can't
flush, but you can't poop because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you can't poop. She has running water, but she just hasn't hooked it up for the flushing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you can
Well,
only take a
if you're
cold shower.
flushing by force of water, you might
Yeah.
not be able to move solids. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's gross.
Sorry, that just
Yeah.
grossed me out. So, nobody needed to see this. Nobody.
Mm-mm.
And I'm going right
There's a
past it.
lot here we didn't need to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Statler says, Sean's asking, like, so you've said you're together. So when you move there, are you planning to live in the caravan on the farm? And Statler goes, we are not planning to live in that caravan on the farm, but we do have some big news to share.
They're
Commercial.
doing van life.
They have decided to buy a camper van so they could travel around to different countries in Europe. And I got to tell you, Kimberly called it. She called it more than once. She was like, I don't know why they don't do van life. They would be
Mm-hmm.
perfect for van
Mm-hmm.
life.
Did I tell
It
you my
has,
husband wants to do van life? This is his thing. He wants to do van life. At 46 years old, he wants to drag me across the country in a van.
okay, so wait.
We're probably going to do
After
it at some point.
the kids go to college, you
Yeah.
would do van
Yeah.
life?
He wants to take a summer and do van life.
But the thing about your husband is that he could make it really nice, and also like he could fix things if they broke.
Yeah. That's his selling point is I will
Yeah.
fix it up perfect for you. Mm-hmm.
Will you have a running toilet? Because Statler says they're going to have a running, working toilet in a van.
Yeah, you can hook it when you pull into a campsite. You could hook it up, and
And then it flushes?
Yeah. I believe so.
It's going to have a working toilet. So I'm
But
like,
you don't think these $100,000 motor coaches don't have flushing toilets?
well, they do, but this sounds like they're getting a camper van.
They're getting a camper van. Yeah, they do have. They can have internal plumbing,
Okay, somebody send me a picture of what this is going to look like, because
like an Airstream situation.
Yeah, I mean, okay, an Airstream I get, but Statler, I mean, Dempsey has no money.
Yeah, I don't know
Statler
how
works
they're
in
planning to
HR.
fund this. I don't know how they're going to fund this.
I don't either.
Although, if you want to
So,
travel the country or Europe on the cheap, van life is the way to go.
yeah, I think it'd be a real fun show to watch, a real fun TikTok to watch with those two, because they're both so cute.
Mm-hmm.
So, Riley says, so what are you going to do for work while you're doing this? And Statler goes, well, I work from home, so it's fine. Now, she is going to be on opposite time zones of what she works for in an HR company. She works in HR, but if anybody's got an HR complaint, it's got to be between the hours of 3 and 6 p.m. because that's when she's awake.
Yes.
She'll be the breadwinner for a while. And Dempsey goes, I'm just going to find odd jobs, this, that, and the other. Now, we do know that Dempsey's family comes from the travelers, which a common term in the past was gypsies, but now that's
Romas?
like carnies.
Don't they call gypsies Romas now?
I don't know, but they call them, where they are, they call them travelers.
Okay.
And so they would go around to that's how Dempsey grew up. So
I'm
that's
just
why
using the Peaky Blinders term.
Oh, okay. So you see, when you see Dempsey's adorable caravan, like, she did all that herself.
That's cool.
It's so cute. It's so cute. But I think that fireplace in the den is the only source of heat. So it's like, you got to hope it gets to the bedroom.
Yeah.
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 So Statler says, yeah, I mean, this is a little problematic. I do want a partner that's financially independent. And Dempsey just does odd jobs, like her job when she met her was like, she lives on that farm and like helps on the farm and helps sell the caravans. And that's how she's able to live there. She's got a guy that she works for that I've seen Statler on Instagram say she hates this guy that Dempsey was working for.
Okay.
More to come on that, I guess. So Christian says, so when is this trip? And Statler goes, we're going in a couple of weeks. We're going in a couple of weeks. So they must already have this thing.
Yeah.
So Sean says, so you were worried about living in those close quarters of that caravan, which was like a 2-bedroom situation,
Mm-hmm.
but this is smaller. And she goes, oh yeah, it's way smaller. She goes, look, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to try new things.
Yeah.
And then we get another scene of saging. So Dempsey has already saged Statler and her hoo-ha once.
Mm-hmm.
We get another saging scene where Dempsey comes in and sages her hoo-ha some more to get the demons out,
Mm-hmm.
and then has her stick a cleansing egg into her vagina.
Pink shade PSA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Don't stick anything like that in your vagina. Just don't.
I wouldn't.
Even if Gwyneth Paltrow tells you to. Do not. Do not.
I will tell you that somebody said, I really think it was Phaedra on a Real Housewife Ultimate Girls Trip said that she had one of those yoni eggs in and
Mm-hmm.
was like in Target and it fell out. And that was the same day she met the guy is like a doctor who she's now like dating.
I don't know why people are doing this. Don't
Why?
do it. Don't do it.
So you're in a full Kegel at all times trying to hold it in?
I don't know. I don't know. We don't lay eggs like that, guys, for a reason. Biologically.
Uh, so, Nicola says Statler needs to ask God for forgiveness for her big sin of admitting that she had sex in a church. Yeah, so what you missed about Statler at the beginning, if you watched the first couple episodes, you saw she really, 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 like if you didn't know it, she really likes to have sex
Yep.
and likes to talk
Got
about it
that.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got it. They sort of leaned into that at the beginning of the season, but they got away from it, which was
Yeah.
good. So then we bring out Statler's friend Natalie with no E. Natalie?
Who I think is in love with Statler.
Could be.
Like
Could be.
her neck chest area was like a mood ring, and it was turning red
Yes.
for I want you.
She is one of those people that gets the hives when they get like nervous or whatever, and she definitely should not have worn a scoop neck. Again, dress code, question mark,
Just
no
know
dress code.
thyself. Know
Mhm.
thyself. If you break out like that, just wear a turtleneck.
Yeah. So Natalie comes out and she says, yeah, when Statler is in a relationship, she's all in. That's how she always is. And, they're like, well, what makes Dempsey so special? And she's like, I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I don't think Dempsey is that special, TBH.
Yeah.
Not that nice. So that's not that nice. It's not that nice to say, I don't think Dempsey's so special. That's not
No.
nice.
Mm-mm.
So Dempsey says, well, her opinion is invalid to me. And then they give Dempsey a hard time about saying that. I was like, Natalie just said you're not special. So she said your opinion's invalid. I think that's fine.
Right.
It's fine. What's she supposed to say? Okay, you're right. I'm not special. So Natalie says, I've expressed concern for Statler. And I haven't really met Dempsey in person or ever seen them together. And then Dempsey's over there just sort of,
I don't
and they're like,
understand what the big issue is here. Like this is low stakes. These people are young, they have no
yes,
kids. If she goes
yes.
over and does van life and it crashes and burns in 2 weeks, she comes home. What's the big deal?
Well, this is the second British woman that she's tried to move for.
Yeah.
The second one. And she did the exact same thing with the first one. And once she got home and started packing her shit to go back, the girl broke up with her.
And I'm wrong. She's like 31 or 2, I think.
These
Still,
girls
she's
are
young.
Statler's 33 and Dempsey's 29.
Yeah.
And
But like if it doesn't work out, you have a story to tell at parties and you just go home. What's the big deal?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all of that. But, okay, so let's see. Dempsey, what's wrong? So Dempsey's over there looking mad. And she goes, nothing's wrong. And Statler goes, this is what she does. She gets like this. This is what she does. No, I don't, Statler. No, I don't. And Statler says, it's hard for us to talk about big things because one of us will shut down. And I really think we could benefit from couples therapy. Right, Dempsey? So obviously this is a fight. And Dempsey says, I'm not really into it, but we have bought some workbooks, some couples workbooks
Now,
we're trying to work through.
do you think Kyle Cray and Kim Cray were saying this could be a possible bid to go on to Last Resort? Do we think?
It could
I'd watch
be.
that.
It could be, but again, the stakes are so low. They haven't even been together as a couple for a
True.
year and have seen each other in person for exactly 2 weeks.
True. Yeah. Maybe
So
they
it can't
need to
be
go on couples therapy with Orna.
Yeah, they can't. It can't be last resort because they haven't exhausted all the other
That's true.
options,
They have
right?
to run through. If Gino and Jasmine pop up on Last Resort, because I definitely want a second season, I'm going to murder everybody.
1000% they're going to be
I
on.
don't want those two on there.
Yeah. So they bought some workbooks. So they're working on their workbooks. So Sean says, were you on the same page now about kids? And Statler goes, yes, we are. We both don't know if we want kids. And Dempsey's like, So poor Natalie over there is just flush red from head to toe. She is fully in hives.
Yep.
And Natalie tears up and says, Statler has the best heart, and I just want Dempsey to take care of her, which seems like a very nice thing to say.
And the medics are like running at her with a Benadryl.
Hot on the set. So I get this
Mhm.
girl a fan. All right, so let's move on to Meisha and Blaine. I do this every fucking time. Meisha and Nicola.
I'm like, who's Blaine?
Meisha is from Blaine, Minnesota.
Okay.
And I have it Meisha 43 Blaine.
I thought you were doing Lindsay and Blaine. Lindsay.
I do that almost every week.
Okay.
Why I haven't changed it, I don't know.
Okay, that's all right.
Meisha and Nicola. So the thing with Meisha and Nicola is he says her name all the time, constantly, nonstop.
Yes.
And sometimes when she talks to him, she refers to him as himself.
Mhm.
Nicola needs to be nice to Meisha. Yeah. Sometimes Meisha needs a hug from Nicola. Does Nicola understand what Meisha needs? It's wild.
Okay.
It's wild. When they got engaged on the last episode, they went to a jewelry store and he haggled right in front of her for the ring. It was like $1,900 and he got it down to like $1,500 and he was haggling. He had her go, he proposed in
And
an
he
alley.
said, pick any ring you want, right? And he took
Go
her
in
to
here and pick
Yep.
any ring you want. And the guy said, what's your budget? And he said, no budget, whatever Meisha wants. Meisha, it's all for you, Meisha. So the guy brought out some rings and immediately she's like, well, that's cute. That's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's adorable. And that's the ring she got. Because you think Meisha wants a tiny little ring? No, she doesn't. But that's what she got. And he talked it down from $1,900 to $1,500 in the store. And she was like, not hot.
No.
Not hot.
No.
Not hot. So Sean asked how it's been since she said you've been apart for a year. And Meisha goes, it's been awful. And it's even worse now that we've been together in person. It's terrible. But he's coming to New York in 1 week. So she's going to obviously stay in New York. He's going to fly there, see the city, and then go to Minnesota. So Sean goes, so let's talk about the annulment. What's the update? And she goes, well, I've been waiting 1.5 years for the tribunal of the archdiocese to decide if I'm allowed to marry again. And Christian goes, you're going to let a bunch of old dudes decide that for you? Which
He's
I gotta
not
say,
wrong.
Christian, good point.
He's not wrong.
And she goes, in my faith, yes. And I do like the way Meisha answers questions. I don't find her to be judgy. I don't find her to be defensive.
Yeah.
I find her to be like, this is what I believe, and you can certainly believe what you want to believe. We can agree to disagree. She doesn't beat you over the head with it, you know?
Now, are her daughters twins?
They are not. I believe they're like 17, 16, and
Okay, they look like twins.
No, I think they're like 17, 16, something like that. And they are with her ex-husband who was from Croatia.
And that's who she was getting an annulment from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I told you my friend had married a guy that had 5 kids. 5. He got an annulment so they could get married. 5 kids.
Okay.
Now they have 2. They have 7 total. So, and she was not going to marry him until he got an annulment because she wanted to be married in the Catholic Church. All right. So she says, in my faith, yes, that's what I believe. And she doesn't get defensive or anything. And Nicola says, I trust God. I trust God. And Meisha says, Nicola, I didn't tell you this yet, but I did get an answer from the tribunal about my case and commercial. I just want to let you know.
I love you no matter what happens.
That was weird because it wasn't like she was opening it on air and didn't know.
Yes.
She goes, I want you to know that no matter what they said, I still love you and blah, blah, blah. And fortunately, they gave me the annulment. It is nothing but a celebration when you get to Minnesota with me, Nicola. So Jasmine says, Nicola, you will lose your virginity. I'm so happy for you. Nicola, you deserve to enjoy the sex, Nicola. And Meisha says, yeah, I'm ready to get married like right now. And he goes, same, ready to get married right now. And sex is only between a husband and a wife because that's what the Bible say. And you see Statler just rolling her eyes. And Meisha says, Okay, that's fine. But you will sleep in my bedroom, and we'll put pillows between us, whatever. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get the clips of the producer asking Nicola about the heavy petting, and then we see him slapping mud on her at the Dead Sea because he doesn't know how to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
She did say that they did have heavy petting. So they
Okay.
asked him if they did
Okay.
anything besides kiss, and he said, absolutely not. That would be a sin. Then they asked her. She was like, oh, yeah, it was everything
Okay.
but. Yeah.
I wonder if there was some dry humping through the jeans.
Yeah, I was wondering if they've heard of soaking.
Oh
So
God, no, God.
he says, yeah, so I learned about sex in the 5th grade. They teach us here in the 5th grade. And when the time comes, I'll be ready. And Riley laughs and goes, no, you won't. I give you 38.7 seconds, bro. And all the guys are laughing. And Sean goes, Nicola, why are you so sure that you know how to please a woman? And Christian goes, yeah, bro, like you got to study. You got to study these things. And Statler goes, I could teach you, which was pretty fucking funny. And Jasmine goes, yes, it's more than you just put the banana in the donut. Satisfying a woman is harder than you may think, and you can't base it on 5th grade science,
Mm-hmm.
which is completely, and Meisha under her breath goes, yeah, that's real embarrassing that you said that.
Mm-hmm.
He does things all the time where Meisha will go, that's really embarrassing, Nicola, don't say that.
I don't know
She's
why she's with this guy. It's so weird.
It has got to be over once he comes to Minnesota. They cannot get married.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
They cannot. But I think she really says it later, like, we're going on 8 years. I got to see it through. But it's like, no, you
What did they
don't.
call it? The sunken cost fallacy. Like, I put so much time into it, I'm just going to keep going. Like,
You don't
no.
have to sign any paperwork for him to come
Mm-mm.
over.
Mm-mm.
Get him on the tourist visa, get him back home, never talk to him again.
Yeah.
So Meisha says, he says, it's not hard, Meisha. You can teach me. And she's like, yeah, I'm not worried. And I can't wait to consummate. And I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm so excited. He says they're going to do it twice a day. And then she does say that sometimes if they've rolled around on top of each other that she could tell. And I guess somebody says, oh yeah, like he's got a big package. She was like, yes. I was like, this is TMI.
Ew. I missed that somehow.
Yeah. She basically
Jesus.
says like over the clothes, she felt
Yeah, I
it.
could feel his boner. Yeah.
You know, she's a 43-year-old woman. He's
Mm-mm.
46. Okay.
Mm-mm.
So then they talk about the little blue pill. And Gino's like, hey, I don't have to always have it, Jasmine. Stop. So Nicola's, no, we don't do that. That's a sin. That's a sin. You don't have the little blue pill. It's a sin. And Meisha goes, yeah, it's like chemicals or whatever. And they're like, dude, we're not talking about her using birth control. We're talking about you. And he was like,
Yeah, but
no, it's a sin.
at least there's some parity here because a lot of people believe birth control is a sin, but they can use all the drugs they want to get an erection. So at least he's an equal opportunity offender.
It's interesting. I did not know that. I mean, I know that most Catholics disagree with birth control, although I know plenty of Catholics who've been on birth control.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know they were also against a
Yeah,
boner
like
getter.
companies that choose not to provide birth control for their
Mhm. Yeah.
whatever workers,
Mhm.
they all provide Viagra. They all cover that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know, guys. Is it a Catholic thing? I know about the birth control, but also in Catholicism, if you're being really strict about it, you also can't use Viagra.
Yeah, it's
All right.
interesting.
So here come Misha's daughters, Maria and Savea. And yes, that is their names. And they say that, yeah, Nicola is different than what their mom usually goes out with. And she's been, she was like lived in Philly when she was doing her newscaster before she was in Minnesota, and literally was like in like hot mom contest and stuff. And like, of course, won everything.
Yeah, and these people are 16 and 17 years old. They don't remember pre-Nicola. What were they, 9, 10 years old when she was dating?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do they remember?
Yeah. But I mean, I have to imagine that. So for like 4 years of their conversation, they didn't decide they would date. They were just online
Oh,
friends.
okay.
And then they
So she
decided
could
they
have
were
been fucking
boyfriend.
around.
Yeah, she could have been, but she had
Mm-hmm.
had that vision where she saw Jesus and had become Catholic. A large orb came outside her window when she was vacuuming. It's a story. It's really something. It's really something. There's a car wreck involved.
Wish you guys could see my face here. Okay.
There's a car wreck. There's a car wreck involved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's several parts of the story, but she saw God and became Catholic.
Okay. Whatever. Hey, to each
Somebody
his
let
own.
us know.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So Nicola is different when their mom usually dates, and as far as him being a stepdad, they don't want to be judged by this guy. They're teens living their lives. They don't want to feel trapped in their own home. And Statler goes, "Yeah, I do worry he'll come in and judge you." And
Oh,
if you,
Statler's like, he is 100% going to come in
yeah,
and judge you.
yeah, and also that'll hurt the relationship with your mom. Like you
Yeah.
guys need to think about that. And the girls are like, "That's the last thing we want to happen." And of course, we're worried about it. So Sean says, "Nicola, how will you feel if the girls bring a boy home?" And he goes into this whole thing like, "It's not my home and it's not my place and I'm not moving there to make the girls miserable." And Christian goes, "But won't this be your home too?"
Yeah, I don't believe this for a second.
Mm-mm. And he says, "Yes, but I trust my wife to do the right thing with her own daughters. Like it's none of my business."
But see, that's the key right there. He's going to
Yeah.
have an opinion on what the right thing is.
Mm-hmm.
And if she's not doing the right thing, which according to him is going to be, XYZ, abiding by God's rules, whatever, then
Yeah.
it's going to be a problem.
And one of the daughters is like, "Yeah, we don't want him to like voice his opinion to our mom and then have our mom bring it to us. Cause like, that's not
It's
cool."
going to happen.
And Misha's like, "Don't worry. I can see why you would worry about, but if that happens," she points to the screen. "If that happens, I'll check that." Like, no. So we get by the way, once he starts banging Misha, he's going to lose all of this me caveman stuff. He's going to be so pee whipped. He's not going to want to leave the house, much less have an opinion.
Maybe.
This guy's never had sex.
I know, it's
Never.
unbelievable.
Before he met her, it had been 16 years since he kissed a woman. When he was 30.
Okay.
Okay. So we get the clip of Nicola telling her, like, "Meisha, you speak nonsense, Meisha. When you start to talk, Meisha, you never talk. Meisha, you're most cute when you're on mute." And we see her like tearing up and trying to talk to him. And he says, "What do you want? Hugs? You want to hugs, Meisha?" And then him saying, "The woman cannot control the man. And Meisha, she plays like a victim. Misha's always good. Nicola's always wrong. Meisha, Meisha, Meisha." So we see Meisha like crying about seeing this clip about him being such a dick. And Nicola says, "Listen, I apologize for this. I apologize to all the women of the world." Okay. All right. All the women of the world. Okay.
I'm so confused as to what she sees in this guy. Am I missing something here?
He looks like a donkey.
Yes.
He's
He has
no
zero
job,
money. He lives with his
zero
mother.
money, lives with his mother, has a non-monetized website that he has run for so many years and says he gets like 1 million hits a month. And
Oh
then we're
my
like, how come
God.
he doesn't make money from that?
Oh my God. I don't understand what she sees in him.
No, we don't either. And we
Okay.
thought that before we met him, and then we did meet him, and we continue to think that. Like, there was no turning point. That we're like, all right, we could see where she likes him. He's not cute, but he's great for her, or what?
No, he's
No,
a huge dick.
he's awful. So Misha cries about the clip, and Nicola apologizes to the women of the world. And the daughters are saying, like, "We don't want our mom to marry someone who isn't listening to her or doesn't care when she brings something to him, because maybe he'll treat us the same." You think?
Yeah.
And Misha cries and looks at them and says, "Nothing, nobody, nothing will ever come between us. Not a person between us. It's us, and no one will ever come between us." And so the girl's like, "All right." So Statler goes, "Well, he invalidates all your emotions. It's very concerning." And Sean says, "Nicola, tell us, what does it mean to show you're the man?"
Oh, this
And
was real bad.
he goes, "Okay, I'm so glad you asked. In today's world, sometimes the woman will become a man and the man will become a woman. But really, you can't have that. It's not in the Bible. I'm the man and the man is the head of the house, okay?"
Yeah.
So Statler does like a
Yeah, but
gagging face.
nobody there said anything to him.
They flash over to Cleo, who is a transgender woman.
Yes.
Obviously,
Like,
he's
why
referring to
wasn't
her.
Christian or saying something or somebody saying something like, fuck off, dude?
I have to assume that's going to come later, like
Oh, I
during
hope
the
so.
Christian and Cleo portion. I'm sure that Nicola is going to be chiming in on his thoughts on this.
I hope so.
And hopefully everybody there is going to shut him down.
Yeah, because you can't, not only are they not shutting him down, but he's saying this on national television and they're not checking him, and that's irresponsible.
I think Meisha is horrified. Because
Good. She
again,
should be.
she's lived in the world and all this. She did have a spiritual revelation, but she still seems like she's not kind of on board for this misogynistic, homophobic bullshit. I could be completely wrong, so somebody let me know if I am. So then when he says, the Bible says the man is the head of the house, and the man will make all the decisions in the household, and God created woman for man, not man for woman. And Dempsey kind of goes, not in this day and age. And Christian goes, okay, so I hear two things. Man can control the woman, but in Meisha's house, you're going to let her take the reins?
Mm-mm.
And he says, it is in the Bible, 100%, woman, listen to man. And Amanda chimes in and says, now Amanda is from Eunice, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Rosvin's dream is to move to the United States and become the next John Wayne. He's not going to do it in Eunice, Louisiana, so we don't really know what he's thinking.
No.
So Amanda says, well, I agree. The man is the head of the house, but the woman is equal, and God is actually head of the house overall. That's how I grew up understanding it. And Christian goes, the way to turn those girls off of religion is to be judgmental.
Which he's
And
right.
yeah. And Nicola's over there like, who?
Yeah.
Donkey
He's
face.
an idiot.
So gross. So Statler says, there are other Catholic guys. There are other Catholic guys. You don't got to stick with this guy just because it's been 7 years.
Right.
And Meisha goes, he's coming to the United States and he's going to spend time on my turf. And I have friends and family around me who are not afraid to say how they feel. So we're going to see. And Nicola goes, yes, we will see because it is the will of God. She's like, oh my God.
She could marry Barry Plath. I'm not saying he's the same religion, but he's super uber God loving.
And equally as unattractive.
Equally as unattractive. And
has some experience. Did
Yeah.
sire 10 children.
Yeah.
I did just say sire.
He's less offensive than this guy in some weird way.
Mm-hmm. So
at least he has
Meisha-
money. He has money.
Maybe not after he has to pay for all these kids and Mama Plath.
It's true.
So, and her lip gloss supply is running low.
Her squirt.
Meisha calls Nicola backstage. And she says, sorry, something in my throat, got it out. Okay. And then she says, talking head to the producer, she says, as far as my relationship now, like, I'm very nervous. I have a lot of nerves, but there's no way out. So I just have to be smart about it. There's no way out.
I don't know why she's saying that. She sounds like she's trapped.
Yes. She's like, we're filming the show and now I've got to see it through. But you don't.
Yeah. This is like Hunter Tylo, her twin, when Taylor Forster was kidnapped and they thought she was dead all those years. Then she came back and she broke up Ridge and broke again. Bold and Beautiful.
Bold and Beautiful. That was the days of our lives, girl.
Yeah.
So
also, it would be like Marlena and Stefano.
Marlena and John Black?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else was his name? John Black had another name too.
Oh, he was John Black and Drake. No, Drake's his real name, right? Drake. Yeah, I forget. I met him and her.
You did? I thought he was real hot.
I went to the Emmys and I was sitting 2 rows behind them and they were in my hotel.
Were you at the daytime Emmys?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Were you there the year that Susan Lucci won?
No.
Oh.
No.
All right. Sidebar. All right. So then she's talking on the phone to him and Nicola goes, I heard all of this. I didn't like it. And, I worry how hard it's going to be in your house because your daughters are complaining against me. And, my relationship is with you and not with them. And she goes, okay, Nicola, we're a package deal. Like she just shuts him down. She goes, we're a package deal. And he goes, well, I will treat them like Jesus Christ, Meisha. And she goes, okay, Nicola, everything doesn't have to be a biblical sermon. I like it. I get it. But everything doesn't have to be that. And he goes, why not? I have to talk about Jesus. It's my goal in life to only talk about Jesus. And she goes, it's a cover. It's a wall. So people don't really get to know you. Oh my God, stop. Which I liked that she did that. Because she's like, I like it. I get it. But
you're being annoying to every other human on earth.
You're not going to treat my daughters like they're Jesus Christ. Now, come on. God. So everyone goes to the green room and Amanda tells them, I'm pretty religious, not Catholic, obviously, because she was working at Hooters when she stole her husband that then died. So, and also went over to Romania to bang that guy for 3 weeks. So obviously not super religious. And she goes, I'm religious and everything, and I agree with a lot of that stuff, but but the whole point is that the man is the head of the house, but the God is above the house, and the man and the woman are equal.
Oh God, this
And
is like the umbrellas. Remember the umbrellas? The dude in the Duggars, the Duggar dude.
IBLP, yeah.
Yeah.
And Statler goes, yeah, great. She's Catholic. She can be with a Catholic dude. She should be with a Catholic dude, but one that treats her well and is emotionally intelligent and doesn't freak out if you just have an emotion.
Yeah.
And Jasmine's like, how does he think he knows about a woman from the 5th grade science? I'm going to show him, Nicola. So, meanwhile, she's probably horny for Nicola, thinking he said he's going to bang twice a day.
Oh, maybe.
Gino won't bang me once a month.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, so now we're going to end with Riley and Violet, and this is what everybody's been waiting for. Okay, so Riley went to see her. Ho Chi Minh City, by the way, looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous where she was. She's a school teacher. He met her children. He met her mom. They've been talking for a year or two, and they FaceTime a lot, and they're both like super sarcastic. But and he's been hurt before. He had literally a woman he was engaged to like leave him in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people dug up some old stuff with Riley about like what he was trying to do. Like, I'm so hilarious. I'm like Dave Chappelle and edgy, but like not funny. And also like trying to do like stand up and just saying gross jokes. Okay. He's former military. He works in some sort of military security, whatever, has a dog, had a house fully burned down. He's into jazz. He had at one point like couple of thousand jazz records, and now he's restarted his collection. He likes to smoke cigars. Okay. That's what you need to know about this guy. Violet's a school teacher. She has 2 daughters. She's divorced. The problem is when they were dating, he did catch her in lies more than once. Okay. One of them was that she had applied for a visa to come to the U.S. twice and been denied. That wasn't true. She said she was divorced. She wasn't. She said she got off the app and wasn't talking to any more guys. That wasn't true. So he did have a lot of reasons to question her. And then one time when he did break up with her, when his dad, who's 80, in the hospital with COVID, sent her, and she knew this, started sending her dad just spamming his phone with all these hateful messages about Riley. He's a horrible person. He'll never find love. He doesn't deserve anyone. So she's no peach, okay?
Okay. All right.
She's no peach. Neither is he.
Right.
Neither is he. Okay.
Right.
So, but he seems to be pretty self-aware of like, all right, I came across as a dick, and listen, I know we're toxic, and whatever. So we open with Sean saying, the elephant in the room is Violet's pregnancy, but first, let's take a look at what happened in Vietnam. So we get a clip about him telling her about the PI, which was the day before he left. The day before he left, he told her about that. And they were really, every time they were really getting along, he would bring something up, and that's why she would say, you kill my feelings.
Okay.
About the PI, and then the fight he FaceTime with Tiffany. Now he had to sit with her family and answer a zillion questions. And he kind of thought this was the same thing.
Yes.
This whole time we never saw them. Maybe once or twice we saw them hold hands. We never saw them kiss. We never saw him put his arm around her. Everything was good, clean fun. Never saw them have any touching other than once. I think he said, can I hold your hand, when they had gone to like a temple.
Right.
That's it.
And now she ends up pregnant.
So I said, when it first started and he first came over and they hugged in the airport or whatever, and they went to check into his hotel and they were like, do you need 1 room key or 2? And he looked at her and he goes, oh, just 1. And they laughed. And I go, okay, this is going to be a situation like, I can't think of that guy's name, but that girl that was like the rapper / OnlyFans model that went over to, I think it was Morocco, and then went, and she was like, oh yeah, he's a virgin. He's a virgin. And this family hated her.
Yeah, hold on.
She was a black girl from Miami, and she was a rapper, and then she's an OnlyFans model.
I can't think of who it is. I can't think of it.
His name was like Yazan.
Yes.
Her name was Brittany, maybe.
Yazan and Brittany. Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
And she had braces.
And they had the interpreter who was
yes.
What was his name? And he was like in some
cute.
of the podcast groups. Like we knew him.
Yes. So cute.
Okay.
So
Brittany,
so
with the braces and the
braces
with the cars in Miami. Yes.
But this was the same thing in that she was like, no, he's totally a virgin, like whatever. And then of course, later she's like, no, are you fucking kidding me? Look at me.
Yeah.
She was like, no. Of course, when the cameras were down, he was coming over to her place.
Yes.
So in my mind, this was the same thing. Like she's going to be on camera to be like, no, I don't do that in my culture.
Right.
And then wait for the cameras to go down and then go over there.
Right.
So, all right. So then we have Tiffany in the restaurant. And so Sean says, Riley said it's common in the United States for people to hire a PI. What do we think about this? And of course the audience is like, no. And everybody up there is like, no.
It was kind of hilarious because a lot of the Americans were like, oh yeah, we get it. We get it. And almost all of the foreigners were like, no, what are you doing? Like, I feel like it's kind of an American thing.
It's definitely an American thing, but it's definitely not common.
No, it's not common, but we do all stalk people that we start dating. We might not hire a private investigator, but who needs to? We can find out everything now.
We can find out everything ourselves these days. Yeah.
Maybe Riley doesn't know how to do that.
No, that's, he is almost 50. Yeah. So Amanda says, look, I agree. If he felt something was off in his gut, I think it's okay for him to do that. And Christian's like, I agree. Now, I got to tell you, when this happened, people were furious, like, how dare he, blah, blah, blah. I was like, she's a well-known liar.
Yeah, no.
And I think before he flies over there, he should find out if she's divorced.
Yeah, I would check everybody and anybody out. 100%.
I agree with that.
Trust no one.
Trust no one. And, here's the thing. He could have just done it not on camera and never told her, but because he did it on camera, he had to tell her, right?
Yeah.
So Amanda says she agrees, and Christian says, yeah, he agrees too. And Tyree goes like, yeah, I agree. Like, shut up, Tyree. You got catfished. Shut up.
Poor Tyree.
You should have gotten a PI. So Riley says, here's the problem. She doesn't communicate. She shuts completely down. I've caught her in multiple, major, huge, life-altering lies. Not just a little lie. Huge. It was like, I'm still married. Like huge ones. And then we did break it off. But then when we broke it off, she started going through my family for me to get back together with her. And I was in love with the idea of love. And it was hard to let it go. And so, yeah, that's right. I did get back to, he's like, I'm stupid too. Like I shouldn't have gotten back together with her, whatever. So now we bring out his best friend, Tiffany. And she says, to talk about that dinner, which by the way, they were having a nice dinner and it was kind of shitty for him to bring up Tiffany, but it's probably the only time she's awake because of the time difference. And she did come out hot. And then Riley got up and went to the bathroom and came back. And it, that was completely wrong on his part. They could have sat down and had a meeting like he had with her family. So she says, yeah, Violet never explained about why she didn't delete that app. I don't know what kind of app it was. And she says, I did delete the app, but I didn't know you had to delete the account. Now her excuse before was, I deleted the password. App. I didn't know the password when I went on the computer to try to delete it. And Sean says, so explain about how the app worked. Was it active or just she didn't delete it? And he goes, no. It tells you active. Person was active 2 days ago. It's active. And she goes, yeah, I don't know. I'm not high tech. And he told me it was active, but I hadn't been on there. So I don't know. But why did he go back in there to check on me? She always does it. She always tries to turn it on him. One time he was walking along the street with her and a text pops up and it's a shirtless dude.
Yes, I saw that.
And she's like, who are you to ask me what's on my phone?
Yep, saw that.
After in the garment shop, she had literally called him fat, old, and ugly.
Masterclass in deflecting.
She called him old, fat, and ugly. And he said, what are you laughing about? He goes, I was just saying how you're fat and old and ugly. And he's like, what? She's like, it's funny. This is how we joke. And he's like, okay, it's not funny. It's not nice. So Jasmine goes, I think, with the app, she was just keeping her options open if it didn't work out with Riley. And Violet says, I did go to the app to check to see if he was still active, but I never signed on to it. Okay, girl. Now you've had 3 different stories about the app.
Yeah.
So, and then he says, only days after he arrived home, she called to say she was pregnant. And Tiffany's like, So now we see the scene where he is in too many layers of clothes and sweating his ass off.
Yeah.
Okay. And the funniest scene ever is Tiffany handing him a tissue and him wiping he's just so sweaty. He walked around Vietnam with a full size towel at all times, just swapping his face off.
Yeah.
So we see the sweaty scene of him saying he called the international hospital, but she wouldn't go there because she had her own doctor, but he said he would pay for it. And then at the end of the conversation, she says, why don't you just ask me to marry you already? But here's the thing. When he was there, if she would have been nice to him the whole time, or even
Yeah.
2/3 of the time, he
Yeah.
would have asked her.
He would
And
have.
he would have already had that visa going. But she was awful to him. Like the first day he got there, they're having dinner and she was like, yeah, I've got to work tomorrow and do something for school. Like, I'll see you in a couple of days. He was
Yeah.
like, what? I'm only here for 2 weeks. And she was like, I'll just see you when I see you. Just, text me later. I'll see if I'm free. He's like,
Yeah.
wait, what? We're
Yeah.
filming this and you're on the call sheet for tomorrow. Like, what are you talking about? So Jasmine says, well, you had all this suspicion about her, but then you had the unprotected sex. He says it was the last night he was there. So it was the day that they had when they had the thing about the PI and she was going to try to forgive him. And then the next day when she pretended to come to his hotel to pack, she'd already been there the night before.
Right.
Okay. So he says
And
he didn't expect her to
he
come.
made it sound like there wasn't a ton of consent here.
What do you mean?
That's the vibe I got when he was talking about it. Like, she came on to me, she initiated, I don't know what happened there, but.
Well, he was a willing participant. He said it was fun to Tiffany. He said it was fun.
Okay.
Yeah, because she said, how was it? And he said it was fun.
What's the medication he's on?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Why don't you look up medications that will lower your sperm count?
Okay.
Because the sperm count is like 0, he said. Okay, so Jasmine says, you had all this suspicion and you had unprotected sex anyway. And he goes, I didn't expect her to come to the hotel. She came back on her own. Like, I didn't invite her. She just showed up. And she did ask me not to tell anyone. And she says, that's right. I did tell him not to tell anyone because the culture doesn't allow us to talk about this. The culture doesn't allow us to go to some man's hotel room, I guess.
So
And
there's
Tiffany's,
some drugs that lower a sperm count that are for major depressive disorder. So it could be like an antidepressant of some kind. That would make sense because it would also lower your sex drive. So that would make sense. But, of course, we here at Pink Shade have no idea what his medical condition is. But, I'm
Absolutely
just
not.
Googling.
Yeah. And I felt like at some point he might say it's a medication I take for high blood pressure. It's a medication I take for cholesterol or something. It's a medication I take for because he was the whole time he was hobbling around Vietnam with like a knee brace. He was like in so much pain. So, but we don't know.
We don't know.
Tiffany goes, you're a whole grown ass man going there to not have any protection with you. And he was like, I didn't think it was possible. Okay.
She's not wrong.
And Violet says, well, he says he's unable to get someone pregnant. So he thinks I slept with another man and starts crying. And he says, I mean, all right, there's science and there's miracles. Which, okay, that's right. And of course, I can't imagine Nicola didn't be like, it's a sign from God. It's a miracle. Praise Jesus. So Violet's crying. And Sean says, I'm sorry you're so upset, Violet, but can you tell us exactly what happened? And she says, well, after he left, I missed my period. And so I took a pregnancy test. And then he asked me to do a test in front of him. So I did, but he didn't trust that. And I wouldn't either.
No.
Because she could pee on the thing and have another one right on the floor and pick it up and not show it on the camera.
Yes.
And Riley says, even if you take a home test, don't you go to the doctor to confirm it? Like, of course, you got to go to the doctor. And she goes, well, he wanted me to go to the international hospital, but I can't afford that. It's very expensive. He goes,
he was going to pay for it.
There. Yeah. I put a card on file.
Yep.
To have a doctor that could speak to her and speak to me that spoke English so that we could both be on the same page. The timelines and the date do not make sense.
He keeps saying the timelines don't add up. And he's saying with her age, my 1% chance of getting someone pregnant, the timeline's not adding up. Like, yeah.
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 And Sean says, why do you think that? Why do you say the timelines don't add up? And he goes, she just wants me to chase her. And I believe she would lie to get me to commit to her. But medically, I know where I am. Okay. And Violet cries, he's always suspicious of me. He always thinks I'm lying. And Riley goes, because you don't own your bullshit. Like, you don't own your bullshit, which is very true. And Jasmine goes, you think she'd lie about a child to manipulate you? And he goes, yeah.
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 She lies about everything else.
Yeah. And Sean goes, Violet, are you pregnant with Riley's child? Dun, 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 dun. To be continued.
To be continued. And then
So
she's like, well, we'll leave it right there. Hope you guys resolve this.
she did say a couple of times when they were talking at the beginning, she said, we're not going to dig into that right now.
We'll come
On
back
to
to
the
that.
next couple. I'm like,
Mhm,
what?
mhm.
Why not? We're there. Dig into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I love Sean and the
My
hating of his
husband
people.
my husband was kind of watching it last night, like in and out, because I had to have it on. I was watching it, and he's never laid eyes on any of these people. And I'm like, how old do you think that host is? And I paused it.
Oh
And he's
God.
like, I don't know, 38, 40? Nope. 60.
She's like 60.
Yeah.
She is so perfect. She is such a perfect human.
And he even said, he's like, holy shit, she doesn't even look like she had work done.
No.
I'm like, I know.
It's got to be clean living, right? It's got to be clean living.
I don't know what it is. It's something I'm not doing. That's
I
what
don't
it
know.
is.
She is just like a perfect specimen of a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
All right. So next time on Tell All Part 2, Christian says, I just act the way I act, I just like to entertain people. Or I just like to entertain people. I'm just Christian. I'm just so wacky and out there. Oh, I'm so alternative.
Mm-hmm.
And Statler goes, yeah, but sometimes people are not entertained by you. And your best friend is probably the mirror. And he's like, ooh.
Okay.
Which,
Like Vanity Smurf.
Vanity Smurf.
Who was
Jasmine
it,
says,
Greek mythology, that fell in love with their reflection in the water?
oh God, why'd you ask me? I would have known the answer.
Is that where the word narcissism comes from?
Yeah, it's narcissist, right?
Let me look.
Yeah, I really think that's right. And gosh, if Anna was close by, I could ask her. She knows everything about Greek mythology. Your best friend is probably the mirror. That's Narcissus. Narcissus. All right.
Yeah, it was Narcissus.
Narcissus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So Jasmine says to Amanda, you're constantly mean to Rosvin. And Amanda goes, that's not me being mean. That's just me processing my emotions because I'm dead behind the eyes. And Jasmine goes, are you sure about that? And Amanda goes, respectfully, you don't know me, so shut the fuck up.
Respectfully.
Yeah, Amanda in her youth beat a woman with a baseball bat over a man. So
Holy shit. Okay.
Amanda's not fucking around, allegedly.
Yikes.
Okay.
Okay.
So then we see David, and they asked David, have you been in contact with Amy, the interpreter, since you all left the Philippines? And Sheila goes, no. And then somebody says something, and then she's like, ah, she gets so jealous of that interpreter. It was great.
And they zoom in on him, and he's just like, oh.
Yeah. So the thing about the interpreter was she was just this girl a little bit younger than Sheila's really young too, but this girl was maybe a few years younger, perfectly cute, just like Sheila, spoke a lot of languages, and she was an interpreter. And so you have to imagine, not only does Sheila need to learn sign language, she needs to learn American Sign Language. So it's two
Right. Yes.
It's two barriers there.
Yes.
She really hadn't practiced or really done much to try it at all before he arrived.
Right.
And he hired that interpreter, or production did. Like, I don't know how Sheila really thought they were going to text everything.
Never
And he
get
was
a
like,
hot interpreter, guys. Rule number 1.
and was like, we're together now, and you can't get what I'm trying to say on text, because
Right.
he literally, a bunkie wrote and said that I don't know if you saw this today. A bunkie wrote and said she is a speech therapist. And also, number one, it's extremely, extremely rare for hearing parents to learn sign language to communicate with their deaf
I saw
child.
that, and that is a devastating statistic.
I wish I would have never known that. And it's also only 30% of people can read lips. And even then, no, very few people can read lips. And when they do, they're only catching 30%. And she said, because it seems that David never got into a speech class where he could understand words out of the mouth, he definitely would never be able to do sign language.
Yeah.
I mean, he would never be able to read lips. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he got there and Sheila really had not been practicing sign language, it really sort of hurt his feelings a lot. He gave her some books, and then towards the end, he was like, we're not going to text anymore. Like, you're going to practice with me. Yeah. And she really got into it. And he was that really made him happy, because he's like, she is now trying to communicate in my language.
Yeah.
But you got to imagine, again, she's got to convert it in her mind.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So it's hard. So anyway, the thing with the interpreter was, when they met, said off to the side, she was like, yeah, I speak 4 languages, yeah, and I don't know why Sheila hasn't learned American Sign Language. Like, I learned it in a month. Like,
Wow.
okay,
Okay.
bitch.
First of all, it does
Yeah.
not take a month to learn sign language.
People take it for years.
Yes.
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 So anyway, we're going to see. He's probably talked to her. So Sean says to Riley, how would you like this to end with you and Violet? Would you like it to end with the two of you getting back together? And he goes, well, Violet is coming to the U.S. soon. What?
No, these two need to stay away from each other.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe she's coming here to stand trial for something. I have no idea.
He says they're not together.
No.
So why is she coming? Maybe she's coming for something. Maybe she
yeah.
found another guy.
Maybe she's, like I said, maybe she's going to stand trial on tax evasion or something.
That would be weird. I've never been to the United States. So, Tyree, we have Carmela / the real Carmela / Christian's phone number. Would you like to call him? He's like, yeah, sure. So they call and they get this Christian on the phone. He's catfish.
Hello.
They ask Christian, not Christian the catfish, Christian of Christian and Cleo, about prowling the bars in the U.S. I mean, in London and talking to women. And Cleo says, I do worry I'll never be good enough for him. And Sean says, well, the woman that he met in the bar that he invited to Thanksgiving is here today. Let's bring her out.
How random.
And this girl comes out and is like, hi, Cleo. And Cleo
Yeah.
goes, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Weird.
How did they find that girl?
I have no idea.
Okay. So I would say you remember, but you don't because you didn't watch it. So when he came home drunk that night, so she'd been at a class. So she comes back to the Airbnb and he's drunk. And she's like, looks like you had a good time tonight by yourself in the pub. He's like, woo, I met an American girl. You wouldn't even believe it. I invited her over for Thanksgiving. And she's like, what? She, she's autistic.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't do well with new. You can't invite somebody over here for Thanksgiving. Like, what? And he was like, yeah. And she goes, did you get all our information? And you're texting her. He goes, oh, no, absolutely not. No. And they show him in the bar. So there was a camera there talking to this girl and going, hey, before we leave, let me get all your information.
Okay. So they had it.
So that's it. They had it because they filmed the girl in the bar. So they had to get all her release and everything.
And then they flew her. Oh, she's an American girl. So was she there on vacation? On holiday?
She happened to be in London on holiday.
Okay.
And he just happens to chat up this girl. But you don't even understand. Flying on the way over there, he was videoing himself going like this. Well, they cut me off. Like spitting drink all over himself. Like, they cut me off. Who's ever heard of getting caught on an airplane? They cut me off.
Jesus Christ.
He's shit-faced on the way over there.
Okay.
Then he tells Cleo the story, his girlfriend. He tells Cleo the story. I was on the airplane. I was going back to the bathroom. There's just 2 girls back there. They're like 21. And I just sat down. It's like everybody on the plane was asleep but them and me. So I was like, hey, girls, let me get you a drink. Let me get you a drink. And then the stewardess is like, you cut off. And they're like, we've heard about you. The girls in the back of the plane had heard about him from the front of the plane.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. And he thinks all that he's just a wild and crazy guy.
Okay.
Why doesn't anybody get it? He just likes to talk to people. He likes to talk to women because women you
are
just
people.
Talk to them. Yeah. Just talk to women like people.
Just talk to them all regular.
Just regular. You don't have to act weird around women.
No.
He's the worst.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. He's pretty bad.
He also lives in Minnesota.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
let's see.
Minnesota, you're not sending us your best.
No, not sending us the best and brightest. I'm trying to see where he lives in Minnesota. Not that I'm going to know if he's in the Minneapolis region. And so is she. So is Meisha.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh my gosh. All right, that's it. Amy, you did a great job for having really never watched the show.
Thank you. You know, how much, like, I am a 90-day student. I mean, how much do we really, you just swap the couples in, the storylines kind of stay the same. So.
They do. They do. And that's why people are so upset about Riley being a sex tourist. I'm like, if we don't have that, we don't have a show. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is not new information.
Yeah.
I mean, and you could even say Amanda was a sex tourist going over there and banging Rosvin.
Yeah.
The thing about them is so interesting, though, Amy, because she was so mean and so cold to him for a solid 2 weeks of the 3 she was there. Like, every day was like, "I don't like it here. I wanna leave. This is gross.
Why?
This park has birds. Ugh, look at the trees." She was horrible to him. Gave him a hickey on the first night, but then wouldn't sleep with him.
Hmm.
And he would, like, say things like, "Okay, today's the day." And she's like, "No, gross. Mm-mm, you're disgusting." Like,
Mm.
she was so mean to him.
Mm.
So mean. Then they had this big fight, which we found out later was about French fries.
Mhm.
They got drunk, and she's like, "Call downstairs and find me some French fries." And he was like, "They don't have room service." And she was
Yeah.
like, "If Jason was here, he would find a way to get me French fries. Why don't
Mhm.
you have Uber Eats in this disgusting country?"
I mean, she
They had to,
still has to be grieving her husband.
yeah,
And this is all trauma response.
she met him on TikTok within 1 month of her husband dying
Yeah.
suddenly.
Oh,
They
I
found out he
know,
had
I
cancer,
know.
and he died within
In
10
10
days.
days. Yeah.
Yeah. She has 2 children with this guy. By the way, he has, like, other kids with his first wife.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-mm.
so of course, she should not have gotten into anything with this guy and then 3 months
Mm-mm.
later flown over to Romania. Of
No.
course. That's
No.
all very apparent. She's
Mhm.
very, very mean to him.
Mhm.
But then after that fight, the next day, he cries to her and was like, "I don't wanna do this anymore. You obviously are never gonna get over this other guy.
Mhm.
I'm trying to give you time. It's not working. Like, you've really hurt me deeply, and I really
Yeah.
loved you, but it's not gonna work." And then guess what happened after that?
She was
She
nice?
was on him like white on rice. I'm
Mm.
talking hands down the pants, tongue in the ear, on
Wow.
him, trying to give him a handy in the car. Like, she
Wow.
was never not on him after that. After he was like, "I don't wanna do this with you. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
I've tried to
Yeah.
be patient with you, but this is too
Mhm.
quick for you," whatever. After
Mhm.
that, she was every day crying. She was
Mm.
giving him chocolates and heart-shaped pillows, and, "You can hug this when I'm not here, and I'm so sorry," and meeting his
Mm.
mom and crying to his mom about how much she
Wow.
loved him.
Okay. That was a about face.
For in that last week, she
Hmm.
really turned it on. And then, of course, she felt like, "Okay, well,
Well,
now I
maybe they
ruined
were
it, and we're not
rolling
gonna get
around
another
on
season."
maybe they were rolling around on the floor and she felt his package.
Oh, no, 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 you just have to go to TikTok to see that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's out for the world to see.
Okay. All right.
He's a go live on TikTok guy.
Okay.
"Thank you for the roses, thank you for the coins." That's how she met him. She did like a
Oh,
click
she
a
sent him
rose
a
thing.
rose. That's right.
Yes,
Yep. Yep.
and that's how they met. And her husband had
Yes.
not even been passed away 1
Yeah.
month.
Daddy's box was still warm.
They didn't even have the box yet, I bet. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, so that's those people. So, Kimberly, we hope you feel better.
Mhm.
And again, I say happy birthday to Little Miss Recap, Amy Archer.
Thank you.
You're covering Sister Wives. You're covering Yellowstone. Is that
Yellowstone, Yellow
uh-huh.
Jackets, 90-day last resort. We got it all over there. Virgin River. We got it all.
Okay.
Mhm.
Everybody go follow Amy at Little Miss Recap. Make sure to follow us at Pink Shade Pod. And hey guys, if you did not get your ticket for the Vegas after party after Cabaret Me on Thursday, November 2nd, I think it's sold out. Go over there and check. Maybe there's 1 ticket left, but last I heard, I think we were like very close to only 1 or 2 tickets left. So go check that out if you haven't. Today would be your last chance for sure. NotorietyLive.com. You can find all that in the show notes. And I hope I see you there in Vegas, and let me know if you're coming. And that's all. And Amy, I'll talk to you this weekend about Plathville and 90 Day the Other Way.
So excited.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.